You're listening to Swingology, a lifestyle podcast. Swingology is for adult entertainment only, and we're not licensed professionals. Our show features adult themes, language, and descriptions of sexual acts and desires. If you're under 18, this is not the show for you. The ideas and opinions expressed are those of the speaker only and not of any company or entity, and should not be considered professional advice. Now, let's stimulate your mind. Welcome back to another episode of Swingology, a lifestyle podcast. We're your hosts, Tori Kist.
And Steve Kist.
And it has been quite a while since we've created an episode because, family, summertime, vacations, we've had so much going on. You guys have been at the top of our mind the entire time. In fact, we just came back from a trip at Denver, Colorado, and the point of our trip was all about reviewing the swinger destinations that we could find there.
The two lifestyle places we went to was Mon Chalet. That was the first night. And then we went to Scarlet Ranch.
Yeah, so Mon Chalet, I believe is how some people pronounce it, is located behind a 7-Eleven right on an intersection. And it was a little sketchy at first when we drove in, but they seem to have pretty good gates, security around, and it was actually hard to get in the first time because getting someone to get to the front office took quite a while, actually.
I would say that Mon Chalet was the same entry as the exit. So there is the possibility of you trying to enter while someone's trying to exit. That can kind of get a little awkward, but there is a gate there. Someone in the office has to open the gate for you to be able to come in. It's rather a smaller establishment. I'd say they have maybe 17, 18 rooms, something
I think
like
it's
that.
about 24.
Yeah, maybe at the most. They don't have a lot of amenities. They do have a pool, 2 hot tubs, and 2 play beds. And the 2 play beds are inside the pool area with the hot tubs. So the play area is kind of feeling a little sauna-ish.
Yes, and the selling point that I've noticed that they push is that each private room, that if you decide to reserve a private room, there's a little nook attached to each private room, and they have something unique and special in that room. So maybe you have a jacuzzi in your room. Maybe you have something they call a sex machine in your room. And so you could always meet someone in the pool, meet a couple or single or whatnot, and bring them back to your room where you have your AC and might be cooler in there and more private. If you're open for, the playroom style, which is the open air of the pool and the jacuzzis, there are the 2 beds, like Steve was saying, in there. It's a bit humid, though.
There was open play anywhere in that room. So you could play in the pool, you could play in the hot tubs, you could play on the play beds. In reference to the parking lot, you had to be clothed. That was it. There was really no other places to go.
It's a bit of a dated facility. They are definitely due for an update, though that could be part of their charm. Maybe they're going for that swanky 1970s rendezvous type of vibe. We did enjoy ourselves while we were there. Of course, we kept an open mind of not knowing what to expect.
Yeah, I would say that, there's a place for everyone.
So we introduced ourselves to quite a few people. There were probably 3 single guys there, and then maybe a half dozen to a dozen couples there throughout our time. 3 of those couples and 1 of those singles were newbies, completely new to the lifestyle, just stepping in and seeing what it's all about.
There was 3 or 4 couples there on the day pass, and the other ones were there with a room. So that was another thing to make note of.
Oh, yes. You can get a day pass where you don't have a room, or you could get what they call it a matinee, where you get a room, but it's just for the day. So there's various options depending on what your schedule requires.
And some of the rooms have something called a sex machine. Now, this machine is not a machine. It's more like a unique piece of sex furniture created in the 60s or 70s. And I say 60s or 70s because they still have the instruction booklet in the room that goes with the machine. And the text, font, and pictures are definitely dated from that time. I would say that it is functional. It looked clean. It looked newish.
It's very sturdy.
It's designed to hold 2 people it's basically metal furniture with leather padding at various locations, so you could do some unique positions that you wouldn't be able to duplicate on a bed. And I think it fell within the novelty range, not something that you would love and want to do over and over and over again.
Hey, some people might like it. Some people might love it. Who knows?
I think a couple attachments to it, and it'd really be a great BDSM piece of furniture.
Agreed. And I also think that if they had some sort of handles from the ceiling, I could have more confidence because I felt like I was going to fall some of the time.
I think you did have to fall to kind of get off in one of the positions.
Yeah.
That was funny. What was the cost on that, do you think, just to get in there, have the room?
I didn't book it, babe. That was your surprise for me.
I think it was about $185 at the end of the day. I think I'm confusing the two. I think it was this was the cheaper of the two options for sure. This was at $185.
Yeah, Scarlet Ranch doesn't have rooms to reserve. Scarlet Ranch is just a place to hang out.
We'll get there. Well,
I was just pointing out that at Mont Chalet, you can actually stay the night in your own bed, and Scarlet Ranch doesn't have that option.
Okay. Is there anything else we want to talk about with fronts to Mont Chalet?
With Mont Chalet, as we were waiting for the front desk to come to the door so they could open the door and let us in, we were reading the various signs posted, and they want to well, I don't know if want is the right word. They are banning you for just about everything. What were some of the reasons where they would ban you, babe? Do you remember?
Having a camera out in the pool area was worthy of a ban. Taking a pool towel.
There were like 3 or 4 or maybe
remember.
5 signs saying, we'll ban you for this, or ban you for this. You'll be banned for that.
I really don't remember.
And I don't remember all the reasons, but it was like handwritten on paper, taped up on the wall. And I was thinking, this is quite interesting, okay?
I do remember one of the bannings had to do with cameras in the pool area.
And that makes sense.
That's completely valid. The other reasons to get banned was just kind of a little off the wallish, and it made me tilt my head and go, huh? And I just don't remember what they are because they were a little off the wall.
Yeah. In regards to our experience in the pool and / play area, Steve and I did play on the play beds together over there. We did not swing or anything like that, but there were a number of single guys, 2 or 3 at the time, that just wanted to stay on the bed with us, and we kept telling them to go on, like move on, because that's you can watch from afar, but like when you're becoming our shadow, it's too close, dude, back up, you know? But they kept coming around, so that was quite annoying. I don't know if they're regulars or not, and during our time, there was a single guy that was kicked out.
Yeah, he just had drank a little bit too much, and I guess with someone else, he caused some issues, and then the administration got involved, and they handled it. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do, so at least I can stand up for the facility and say, when times get tough, they'll kick someone out, and
exactly.
they'll take care of it.
Was there anything else with Mont Chalet that you would like to discuss?
I didn't like that our room wasn't AC'd very well.
When we checked in at about 5:30 p.m., the AC was working fine. We got dinner, we took showers, and then we noticed it's hot in here. And we noticed no matter what we did, it would not click back on. We went to the front desk. They gave us a box fan. We put the box fan in our window with the window open. Singles kept looking inside like, dudes, go away. So we had to close the window. So then we had like our room in the middle of the summer with a box fan. It was not that great. That is one reason why we spent so much time down by the pool, because the AC didn't work.
Of course, we're looking to cool off, and then we're at the pool, and the pool area is essentially a sauna. If they had put an exhaust fan at the very top apex of the pool area of the enclosure, it would evacuate that heat and humidity from the area. And if they put a couple like vents, like even open vents at the bottom portion of the wall, that would eliminate a lot of that heat and humidity that gets trapped in there, and it would be a lot more bearable.
Keep in mind, though, this is Denver, Colorado, and that gets very cold for most, if not half the year. So they probably like the heat. It's just we're there in the summertime.
That's true. I can imagine them wanting to close those off in the wintertime and keep that room as warm as possible.
Exactly.
I could see that working in their favor in the winter for sure.
And that might be a prime time to visit this place. Nice and toasty.
All right, let's move on to Scarlet Ranch.
Scarlet Ranch does not have signs that say Scarlet Ranch. They have signs that say a different name. So it's almost like
some kind of wildlife reserve.
It's Squirrel something.
Squirrel Creek Reserve or something. There is nothing on the exterior of this place that lets you know that it's a lifestyle establishment or that swinging happens here. It is very incognito. It's very polished outside, landscaping, and it looks nice. There's plenty of parking. We didn't have any problems with parking. And I think I even saw some RV parking nearby. So if you travel with an RV, just check into that and see if that is a thing. But when we went there, we had, front row parking for some reason. It was nice and close to the entrance. We walk in and there is a table. Right before you walk into the main entrance, there's a table set aside for new members, people that haven't been there before. They had some paperwork for us to fill out. Once they got us situated, we asked for a tour. If you don't ask for a tour, they probably won't give you one. We had a very nice tour from,
I believe her name was Allie.
She showed us all around the place. It was very educational, very informative, very nice. But one of the things that she told us was that that on Sundays, there's a huge water feature. And during the tour, I didn't know what that meant. But later, as I talked to other guests, the water feature is a huge inflatable slide that they put at one of the corners of the facility.
It's like one of those bouncy houses, but it's a giant inflatable slide, water slide.
It's a very wet t-shirt contest kind of a vibe that they have on Sundays.
So when you walk into Scarlet Ranch and after you get checked in, immediately you're greeted with a bar and a loungy space with some comfortable couches. They have 2 pool tables and indoor shuffleboard. They also have a dining room where you can order dinner. During the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they're open at night, at least as of right now. Open at night, and during the day is on Sundays. And downstairs, they have their playroom area. They have some private little nooks with curtains that can be either sheer or completely not sheer.
They have see-through curtains and then fully visual blocked off curtains.
There's 2 crosses if you like to do some BDS scenes. Of course, you have to bring your own toys for that. There's plenty of towels to go around. There's a unisex or co-ed shower, as well as bathrooms and lockers. Now, when it comes to lockers, Allie, our tour guide, told us about a quarter of them or a third of them are rented out year-round, so you only have access to about 2/3 of them. There are only about 40 to 60 lockers total. So keep in mind, if you want to use a locker, you want to get there early. Otherwise, you're going to be keeping your stuff, maybe with you or in a backpack, wherever that is. When you leave the facility of the building and you go outdoors, there's this giant lawn with various cabanas all around the lawn. And there is a large teepee. I was told that during the winter, they like to close the teepee and people are smoking their THC or their vapes or whatnot, and it can get rather smoky in there. So if you're into that, that is an option. They have a beach volleyball net. And did they have
a bunch of lawn chairs that surround the net?
Yes, a lot of lawn chairs.
It looks like they have a bar that could be set up outside, but it's not running year round. And I don't think it was going on that night. The whole facility looked well manicured. And so I didn't feel bad about being outside at all. There was great outside lighting. Everything was well lit. A lot of people were walking around in lingerie. Ooh, which brings me to some of the rules you could expect while you're there.
Sure. What are the rules, babe?
Well, inside, the moment you walk up to the cash register, they let you know that the entire facility is basically clothing optional.
Once you get past the foyer, it is clothing optional. You have to be clothed in the foyer.
And then they kind of want you to cover your pink in the dining room, I believe, right?
She said you could sit on a towel.
Okay. I would say most 99% of people were in lingerie. I didn't really see anyone walking around naked at any time.
I don't know how many people were there, maybe a couple hundred.
Couple hundred
people were there. It was a Saturday night and the parking lot was packed. Playroom was packed. And yeah, I didn't see any actual nudity besides the playroom area.
They encourage play outside, so you can play in the cabanas, you can play on the lawn chairs. They didn't really want you playing on the top floor where the dining room is or the pool table. When you bring your own beer or alcohol, they have 2 bars. They're both inside. Wherever you bring it, that's basically where they want you to order your drink from. I would say if there was a weak point of the whole experience, there was a few times when we went to go tap into our drinks, and the 3 or 4 bartenders that they had were tapped out and the lines were pretty long. They also have a coat check.
Yes, they do.
You can check more than just your jacket. So for example, let's say the lockers are booked and you brought a backpack. You could technically coat check your backpack and they'll give it back to you. So that's not a problem. I would say a lot of people that go there probably know someone that has a cabana and their friends just let them leave their stuff at the cabana. And so if you become a regular or a frequent there, you'll probably have that opportunity. And those people don't take one of the lockers because they know the lockers are very few and far between.
In regards to booking a cabana, at the time of recording this, prices are typically between $200 and $450, depending on which one you get and depending on what's going on. So our friends who had one, they said it was about $250 for that Saturday night. And there is a cabana, I believe it's number 10. It's the size of 2 cabanas, but it's one giant one. That one goes for $450, at least this past weekend. All in all, we had a great time in Denver, Colorado.
I would definitely recommend Scarlet Ranch. If I had to choose between the two, 100% I'd go back to Scarlet Ranch in a heartbeat. It was definitely more our vibe. I felt comfortable getting to know people. I think a lot of people there liked the casual, get to know you vibe that they had. The only downside I think that me and my wife had is you didn't have your own room to walk to, right? So you had to, if you met someone and you wanted to do something with them, you had to take advantage of the playrooms. Depending on when you got to the playroom, they were pretty full. Some people were waiting in line to use even a bed that was considered an orgy bed just for their own little space to play on. There were attendants in the playroom, so sheets got changed out and replaced with new ones, and so the people didn't have to do that themselves, so which I thought was another nice amenity to the place.
All in all, we definitely enjoy our time and hope to be coming back. If there is a facility, a swinger destination that you are interested in and you want us to give it a try, let us know. You can write to us at swingologypodcast@gmail.com.
Yep, swingologypodcast@gmail.com. Tori, what was your favorite memory from Mon Chalet?
Trying out the sex machine and not falling off. What about you, babe?
I think playing with you in front of everyone and having everyone watch us and be the center of attention. I think that was really nice.
Yeah, naturally.
How about for Scarlet Ranch?
Scarlet Ranch was definitely more of a party scene. I loved the DJ, the music that they had outside, the foam party. The foam was just falling down in a mountain. It was lots of fun to play in. The playrooms were lots of fun as well to watch. My favorite time, the entire night, honestly. I can't pick one moment.
You can't find a favorite moment? This one thing, one little...
Okay, I suppose my favorite would be when we were swinging and I was riding my partner and I leaned over and I kissed you while you were fucking her, and that was my favorite, I suppose. If I have to pick one, that would be my favorite. What about you, babe?
Oh, so I'm fucking my partner and she's amazing. But then at one point I realized when we got into that area, that room, there was a few people on the wall. I would say 4 or 5 people on the wall, and they're all just kind of watching. At one moment, I looked up, and there must have been 40 people looking, and they were all looking at my wife because she was riding, and I looked at her, and she looked like she was riding, I don't know, a Ferrari. She looked like she was gorgeous, hot, her boobs were bouncing up and down, and she was riding him like, you're just going to take this and you're going to like it. And everyone was just kind of fixated on my wife, and then I got all kind of gooey. I loved that moment.
That's when I looked over and that's when we kissed and...
Yeah, that was, and then I kind of looked around and I saw all the people and they were just staring at my wife and I'm like, yeah, that's hot.
All right, babe. When it comes to homework, summer is still in session right now. It's July when we're recording this. This is probably going to be released in August, so no homework, okay? School's out. Go have fun. We definitely will be on the Bliss Cruise this November, so stay tuned for episodes. I don't know what they're going to be like. I don't think we're going to keep the same style of recording like we did last year, but maybe we do. So that's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in and stimulating your mind.
Stimulate your mind.
Thank you so much for listening to Swingology. I'm truly honored to have you as a listener. If you liked what you've heard, consider subscribing to our podcast or connecting with us on social media. The links can be found with the episode show notes. This is Tori Kist, reminding you to stimulate your mind.